Yo, 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 welcome to the Hub. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And today we're going to be reviewing.
Legion.
Yeah, I am Legion for We Are the Superhero Hub. Chapter 8, season finale. It's been a rambunctious, tumultuous journey from start to finish, and it finished strong. So, kind of, the first bit of the episode, really, it was just bumming around the burned face man, and I went on Wikipedia to try and see if he was like a famous character, but it turned out
No,
he
it
wasn't.
isn't.
Because I was thinking they're putting emphasis on him, and then I saw him put a red suit on, and I was thinking this has got to be a hint to something, right? The
It does seem like a super villain like origin kind of thing, but it's not, no. I mean, it's not in terms of the comic book, it might be for the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I was sitting there thinking, oh well, this is whack. Well, he was a whack character anyway, because they kept like emphasizing like, oh, he can help us, he can help us, and it's like he didn't do anything.
I'll tell you, he's whack. The eye. This confirmed it. I was pretty sure last week when he died, but this is definitely like, what was the point of him?
I know it was meant to just be like a human threat.
He's mutant though, isn't
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. So basically, yeah, the guy got burnt by fire. We still don't really see who actually did that. We just saw little flecks of fire.
he? It was David, wasn't it?
I guess so.
Or the Shadow King.
He got mullered, and then it's showing him with his a boyfriend and his adopted child. Uh,
I believe husband,
well, what did I say?
boyfriend.
Yeah, same thing.
They proper commit. Although, I think that actually, it might be an important thing because I was always wondering when the show was going on, like, what's the time frame? When exactly is it? That must be pretty modern then,
Yeah.
if they're married.
Well, the interesting thing is, right, they're together and blah blah blah, and it's flicking through the thing, and then kind of at the end he was by himself. So I was thinking, oh, did they end up like ditching him or whatever? Did he end up being like bitter and pushing him away? Because he was like watching TV with him, he was doing all this stuff, and then it started to flick to him. Don't cry. And then
I'm not
it's
quite.
and then it kind of flicked to him kind of sitting by himself and it raining, so I was thinking, oh, did they run out on him or whatever?
Maybe, but wasn't the husband working with the bad guy, Division 3?
I've never even seen that guy before in my life.
Because I think, I could be wrong, and maybe it's a different guy, but I'm thinking when he gets caught, um, you know when David puts them all in that thing, all the people,
Yeah.
all the I think the husband's there, and he says something, and the guy in the chair is like, "Is that personal feelings interfering?" I think that's him. So I guess they work at the same place.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of flicks through a little thing from him what he's been through, and then it kind of comes to like present time where obviously they confront David's having none of it, and then kind of spins him into like a little soldier tower, and it's like, ah, let's go talk. And then I swear, like, he don't talk to him. He ends up just going and talking to going to talking to Sid, nee. So they're in the forest. I was like, I swear he's meant, because I was sitting there, I was watching it, and I was like, I swear he's going to talk to him. Why is he talking to her? So yeah, they're talking, and then he's going on about his condition and stuff like that. Maybe it's all like a dream. Maybe I don't have powers and stuff like that, which pretty much came to nothing. And then she's kind of getting flashes. Sid's getting flashes of like the Shadow King, and then they take Burn guy, and then they're like talking to him, and like in his like busted eye there's like a camera, I guess. So like all the other people, maybe he's now the eye, you know what I mean?
Is it in his eye? I thought it was in his cane thing.
Nah, because it's like you see it like POV, so it's got to be
Oh,
like in his busted eye. I know, maybe it is in his cane, I don't know, but I always thought it was kind of in his eye because it was showing it like POV.
right. But I think the POV wasn't his eye. I think it was them watching.
Yeah,
Regardless of where it is, the point is they're watching what's going on, right?
yeah, and they're like every so often they'll just mention a random code word. Oh, let's switch to let's activate operation blah 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 in like an hour, and then it's like, oh, let's activate Equinox, and then so they threw out some random code words that meant nothing a couple times, so they're kind of there doing their thing. So then they're like, oh, maybe you can help us. I don't know what his credentials are, but random guy, maybe you can help us. I don't know what with, so they end up saying that, and then that pretty much comes to nothing, and then they're like, oh, we should learn to trust each other, and that pretty much came up to nothing. So I was thinking, what really, what's the point? So yeah, they're kind of interrogating him, and meanwhile Sid's like getting flashes in like a special place where they make Whoopi and like the Shadow King's there, and then there was a couple backdoor references.
Greatly appreciated by myself.
A bit of butt shaking and some melting feet and like kind of switches, and it's like, oh yeah, I, d- I thought she was gonna whip the helmet off, but it was like, yo, help me escape and I'll leave of my own accord. So there was that going on, so that kind of confused me because I thought all she's going to do is whip the helmet off and it'll do whatever. So you kind of had that, and then he was tweaking out every couple minutes, and then they kind of decide, oh, let's make a machine and whip it out. So they're doing that, and that's kind of when it all kicks off. You kind of, jeez, I mean, nothing really happened up to that moment, but they all kind of led up to that, and then they start zapping it out his head, and then you've got Oliver. I don't even know what he was doing. He was just climbing up a ladder, like looking at stuff, and I was like, how is that relevant to anything? But apparently he was like doing stuff to whatever.
If this dude had Shadow King written all over him, I knew that's how it was going to end up eventually.
Well, it had to be because it was like psychic. Because I was sitting there, I was thinking, right, if he leaves the body, generally the only thing that he messes with is psychic people. Nothing else is going to be able to contain him because he'll destroy it. So you kind of, so she melts, Sid melts and runs into the room and lipses him because it looks as though he's dying. Even though I'm pretty sure if they'd just left it how it was, the Shadow King would have been zapped. So I mean, it duped her, I guess. So then they switch bodies, and then she was all like yellow eyes and stuff like that, which was kind of cool. And then she whacked Carrie, and she was like yellow eyes. And then she whacked the guy, put him on his batty, and then whacked the memory guy, and then kind of went into the observation room, and then like pistoled Melanie, and then kind of, yeah, wandered down the hallway, don't know where she was going, and then like David just kind of like appears, I guess. So then there's a kind of flash moment where he starts bristling with blue lightning and launches, and then she's like red lightning but with a kind of mist behind her, and they collide. That was strange. And then it kind of, yeah, well, I mean, what's his name got mullered again. The burned face guy, he kind of walks out because she swings the doors open. Like Carrie, when she went to stop Sid, swings the door open so wide that it takes an hour for the door to close, so he just walks out. He gets telekinesis thrown again down the hallway because that's his purpose, to just get thrown by people telekinetically. So
Yeah, and he'll still live though. I guarantee you, he'll be back. I bet that dude's going to be like, like Will Ferrell in Austin Powers, where he plays that dude who just keeps dying but doesn't actually die.
I guess so. So yeah, well, he gets up anyway at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, they collide, and then the mist kind of gets out of her, and then Oliver just happens to open the door because he hears the explosion, and apparently the time between the explosion is enough for him to kind of walk down about 20 ladders, open the door, he gets blasted, shocked. So he was just a plot device. So like when the Shadow King left David, it could go into another psychic person. So it possesses him, and he just strolls out, gets in a car and drives off. So like everyone's picking up the pieces. David's, I guess, okay now, which will be pretty interesting to see if he's still like it, because now you know if he is actually schizophrenic because that thing's out of him. So it kind of picks up all the pieces. Carrie and Carey kind of make up again, and then it's like, oh, the Shadow King's out of me. Now where is it? Oh, where's Oliver? So yeah, you kind of had that moment, and then it is just driving down the road in the car, and then you got like Lenny next to him again, and I think she references where should we start looking. So what does that mean?
Professor Xavier.
Uh, or it could be another host. Maybe he's not powerful enough. So yeah,
It'll be Xavier. Xavier seems to be what the Shadow King's obsessed with. That's why the entire David thing's going on. Is who she's looking for.
yeah.
I guess she'll go for Xavier. I think he'll be in the show. My only question is it going to be Patrick Stewart? Are they going to be? It won't be McAvoy. I imagine it will be Patrick Stewart.
It depends what Fox is like with their properties, because really there hasn't been any like film and TV thing at the same time. So I wonder what Fox is like with their properties, because like
Trust me when I say it does not matter. Continuity means nothing.
So I mean, yeah, I know that. So I mean, because obviously actual Marvel is pretty. They've kind of made like little nods and stuff like that, but really you haven't seen anyone from the TV in the films or whatever. So I mean, whether Fox will be a little lax and just like, you know what I mean, have them in there, because it's like you've never really had like a Fox TV show and an X-Men TV show and the X-Men films at the same time. So I mean, really, if I was Fox, or if it's Fox is what I know it to be, a bit of a sellout kind of thing, they'd just be like, yo, use any character, like don't worry about the films, you know what I mean? We need to bring in the fat cash.
I think he'll be. I don't think he's going to be in the entire season. He'll probably be like the button at the finale. David finally meets his dad and then goes on his own journey. But I think he'll be in the show, which is interesting because he was saying Patrick Stewart going around doing interviews for Logan that he was done, but I've got to remember he'll do it.
Yeah, he mentioned he might be interested in doing it. It'd have to be an old guy anyway. It couldn't be like James McAvoy.
No.
It'd have to be an old guy. So if he does it, whatever. I mean, he does American Dad and Family Guy, and that's on Fox. So I mean, why not? I mean, however much he gets paid to do voices for that, it's like, yo, just come on set for 5 minutes. I bet they'll keep it real secret and they won't make no references, but I bet he'll probably make a cameo or something like that. Or they'll do what they did in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh. Oh.
Maybe they'll do something like that. So yeah, they're driving down the road looking for some in. Plays a fresh little beat while they're driving down the road. And then for all you who didn't know, there is an after credits scene as well where him and Sid, David and Sid are standing on the balcony, and then a weird like ball appears, and they just stand there and look at it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what could this random thing be? I know, I'm going to stare. If I see something like that flying towards me, I'm gone. So it kind of scans him up and down, still don't do anything, and then he kind of gets zapped into it. So
I mean, that I can just about kind of understand, but it was Sid that confused me the way she just carried on staring.
Exactly, I'm just like, yeah, if I say, I'll be like, is that a bomb or something? Is that like a drone or a bomb or something? I'll be gone, I'll be like, sorry. Or I'd zap it or something.
What do you think it is?
Oh, what is this? I don't know, like a containment ball.
Yeah.
It looks technological, so would it be Division 3?
Maybe, because like, what is Division 3? Because they talked about basically, I mean, they basically said they were a sector of the government in this episode. So is it kind of like like a Bolivar Trask kind of thing. I don't expect it to be Trask himself, but like the government trying to handle the mutant situation, maybe.
I don't know, but it looked pretty advanced. So maybe, like, do you know them people observing? The people observing, which I said was through the eye. What
Oh yeah.
if that is one of them, and they've zapped him into it, and they're all there in the room? Maybe it's like a little room, and they're all
Oh,
in
that's
there.
cool. So it's like a spaceship,
Yeah, I guess so. And they're
kind of.
like in there. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's my theory, or it's just gonna like transport him somewhere, or what. But either way, it's got to be some. I mean, if it can miniaturize him, why can't it miniaturize other people and just have them in there? So it's got.
I don't think they're doing this at all. And I, unlike last time, I really don't think they're doing this. But I'd love if it was like Mojo or something. Like they've done something stupid already with the Shadow King and made it awesome. That'd be great. But I don't think they're going to go there.
Yeah, because I don't really think that. I mean, if the kind of subplot of the series is the Shadow King doing his thing, going to look for
That's right.
something, then they don't really interject. That's just kind of in the background, and they're just doing their own thing there. Maybe it's going to be a X-Men Pokemon crossover.
Sure, I'd watch it.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this season. I mean, it was a fat season. It was pretty good. I don't really get they made such emphasis. Maybe it was like a little kind of nod to the next season where the kind of burned face man, Clark or whatever, whether is going to feature heavily because they made such a big deal. I mean, they didn't really need to show what happened with
It
him.
did make a big deal. It was weird that that sequence at the beginning he talks about. It seemed to be a big focus. I mean, yeah, I don't think we've seen him since like what the first, maybe the second episode. I
First
think the
episode.
first. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was odd.
yeah, so I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's going to be a big part of this episode, but it was just like whatever, it was thrown away. So whether he's the liaison between the mutant place and the Division Three. Now I'm thinking because they gave the order to, maybe we should deploy Equinox. Maybe that's like the little ball. Maybe that's what Equinox is. So maybe that's something to do with them.
Maybe because he clearly feared the mutants and the mutant problem, I guess. So they're definitely their job is to deal with the mutants in some way. And of course, the X-Men are around somewhere. So I guess that will be next season.
Yeah.
Also, the Shadow King.
Yeah. I mean, they can keep a secret, so I mean, we probably won't know what's kind of going on till about halfway through the thing. I hope they don't think, oh, because this was a success, let's give it like a ton of episodes. Keep it at 8, keep it simple, keep it solid,
Yeah.
get the job done. So yeah,
FX are normally pretty short in their seasons, Fargo as well and whatnot. But I don't think they'll do it. And maybe they might push it to 10, maybe, but
well,
I don't think they're going to
it's
be.
the same guy who did Fargo.
It is, yeah. Noah Prawley, I think his name is.
Yeah. So let's talk numbers.
I'm going to go with an 8. I don't think it was the best episode of the season. I think it was what it needed to be.
I
It was-
agree as well because I think they focus too much on the thing. I was expecting like massive fight sequences and stuff like that, but the fact they wasted like 5 minutes like kind of showing what happened to him and then not doing anything with him, I was like, oh, what's the point?
Well, and there wasn't any cool, experimentation or stuff like there was with the horror silent film thing there was last week. But
Well, that was kind of like the start, the real start bit where it was like the little blocks popping around and
No.
stuff like that, and it was like on the ECG machine.
it wasn't bad. I think, like I said, I think it's what it needed to be. I think the thing it, a thing I appreciate actually. I was saying that the defense is something that's always kind of bugged me is when shows save all their big massive reveals for the finale and you got to sit through the whole damn thing. I'm kind of feeling that way about the Flash this season. We keep on dragging this thing out with Savitar and get to the damn point and move on. So I'm glad the big reveals happened last week and the week before that and the week before that. So there weren't going to be any this week, and I think this was as good as we're going to get, and I think it was cool, and it is in my opinion, the best superhero show this season.
I think it's been pretty solid. I mean, I'll give it a 9 for the whole season.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think there are a couple things that could, like take out the pointless stuff, and don't feel the need to add extra episodes either. Just keep it concise, terse, and succinct. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and this has been the Superhero Hub. See you in the next episode, and we'll see all you Legion fans in the next season.